Psalm 14 is a psalm that laments the prevalence of sin and corruption in the world, but ultimately expresses trust in God's judgment and salvation. Here's a brief summary. The psalmist declares that only a fool would say, "There is no God," and describes how the wicked have corrupted and turned away from God. Verse 1-3. The psalmist laments that the wicked devour the poor and oppressed, and that there is no one who does good. Verse 4-6. But then the psalm takes a turn, expressing trust that God will one day arise and redeem his people. Verse 7. The psalmist longs for the salvation of Israel and the restoration of God's people. Verse 7. The psalm concludes by declaring that the wicked will ultimately be confounded, but the faithful will rejoice in God's salvation. Verse 7. Overall, Psalm 14 is a powerful expression of the tension between the reality of sin and corruption in the world, and the hope of God's ultimate judgment and redemption. The fool says, "There is no God." To the choir master of David, the fool says in his heart, "There is no God. They are corrupt. They do abominable deeds. There is none who does good." The Lord looks down from heaven on the children of man to see if there are any who understand, who seek after God. They have all turned aside. Together they have become corrupt. There is none who does good, not even one. Have they no knowledge? All the evildoers who eat up my people as they eat bread, and do not call upon the Lord, there they are in great terror, for God is with the generation of the righteous. You would shame the plans of the poor, but the Lord is his refuge. Oh, that salvation for Israel would come out of Zion. When the Lord restores the fortunes of his people, let Jacob rejoice. Let Israel be glad.